life throws stuff at you, but you get to choose how to deal with it. And even then I noticed that I was very positive because I had actually got womb cancer. I thought, well, a stroke of luck to get womb cancer. I don't need a womb, it's done its job. I've had a great kid. I talked to my womb and said, thanks for giving me this great kid, but now I've got to get rid of you because I've got to stay here and raise this great kid. Wow. But the only risk in life is not to take the risk. That's the risk. If you don't, when you take the risk and it goes wrong, you learn something. Maybe my only challenge, but even then it's not a challenge, is I would say half the medical profession love what I do and really go for it and go, oh my God, this is amazing, I'm using it with my own patients. And the other half go, this is all silly. Illness is caused by disease, that you can't talk yourself better. Talking to yourself doesn't make any difference. You can't possibly give birth just using positive affirmations. It's like if you had cancer and you had a very good oncologist, you might go, look, the way you think, the way you eat, the way you act, the way you rest can all affect. And they'll go, nope, you got cancer, chemotherapy, there's nothing else that will work. And all that stuff is hocus pocus. Right. So that is a challenge, but it's not so much, because I find so many doctors love what I do and go, wow, all these illnesses are autoimmune illnesses. Many years ago, there was a wonderful psychiatrist in London called Dr. Maudsley, and he had a great expression, it's always been my favorite, and it says, the feeling that cannot find its expression in tears may cause other organs to weep. So he knew 100 years ago.
That's beautiful.
So beautiful and so true.
The feeling that
cannot find its expression in tears will cause other organs to weep. So he's sort of saying, if you don't feel the feeling, your body's going to feel it. If you don't open your mouth and say, you hurt me, don't be surprised if you get a screaming. I've got this screaming headache. I've got this angry red rash. I've got this thumping pain. And by the words they're using, angry, screaming, they're saying, I have rage that can't come out.
I'm not expressing it, but it's expressed through my body.
Yeah, because the body is very clever at finding something. I worked with someone who couldn't walk, and all she was, I can't stand that. I can't stand my ex, I can't stand my life, I can't stand my kids, and you can't stand up. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, wow.
She had sort of phantom leg pains because she couldn't stand anything. Believe me, it was also, well, what makes me sick is my sister-in-law. Oh, I'm so sick of her. She just makes me sick. I vomit in my mouth every time I hear her voice, and then they wonder why they're bulimic.
Right.
Because our words really affect our reality, partly because, and it's such an easy thing to say, every word you say is a blueprint that your mind, body, and psyche are working to make your reality. So we make our thoughts, and our thoughts make us, then we go out into the world and we justify our thoughts every day. But our words are a blueprint, and when you know that, you think, well, I better pay attention to that blueprint. I better not say this kid is killing me. My job is making me want to die. I'm so stressed out by what? The queue in Hughes Market. Well, go to Zimbabwe where there is no Hughes Market, and there is no queue, and there's no money to buy food anyway. Then you can say you're stressed, because your problem, the queue in Erewhon and the bill, is someone else's fantasy dream come true. This freeway is killing you. You have a car. You have look at people on 4 buses. I used to take my daughter to school, and I remember one day thinking that, oh my God, this commute is hell. And I saw someone at a bus and thought, how lucky I'm in my car. I've got the heating. I've got a cup of tea. I've got an hour to listen to something. I can talk to my kid. I keep saying I want an hour to myself. Well, here it is. And I learned to stop doing that. But when you say, how are you? Oh, nightmare. It is torture. What? The traffic. Yeah, the traffic, the queue. People keep ringing me, the phone ringing. It's torture. Well, maybe if it didn't ring, that might be worse. Some of my clients who are models will say, my life is hell because people look at me. It's like, really? Well, one day they won't, and then you might miss it. Yeah, but I get on a plane and guys hit on me. It's a nightmare. Well, put on a baseball hat and glasses, read a book. Then they'll leave you alone. But that's not a nightmare, it's just mildly inconvenient. It's not hell.
Right.
It's not killing you, but we use these incredible words. This is torture, this is killing me, this is a disaster. What is? Well, I went to the bathroom and I forgot to pause my movie. Well, that's not a disaster. But when you use those words, because your mind can't differentiate, just to feel like it really is a disaster.
the flip side of this, the beautiful part, if we, when we understand and appreciate that our thoughts become reality,
our things,
we can create the life of our dreams as well.
Absolutely.
We can start to manifest our thoughts by visualizing, by telling ourselves what we want, who we want to become, and taking those actions toward it. We can manifest our dreams.
You really can. You can stop being ill. You can change the shape of your body. You can change your digestion. Yeah. You can have physical things. You can change the way you interact with your kids. The way they. So here's a good example. My kid is a nightmare. Change that to my child as age appropriate.
There you go.
This builder's going to go, oh my God, that's a disaster. But a good builder will go, it's a challenge. When you said talking to girls is terrifying, you just change that to it's challenging. But hey, there's hundreds of girls out there. It's a numbers game. One will say yes.
Some will say hi. Yeah.
And even if they say no, the only risk in life is not to take the risk. That's the risk. If you don't, when you take the risk and it goes wrong, you learn something.
It gives you feedback for how to show up differently the next time. My girlfriend's a doctor of physical therapy, and when she works on people, she would agree with everything you're saying, because people's bodies are so tight, not because of something they tore or something sore, but it's because they're holding on to something emotionally. And she says once they start to talk, their bodies relax and the pain goes away.
Yeah,
like
I know
all the
that
pain
to be
where
true.
they can't lift their shoulder, they can't turn their neck, once they let it out their feelings about their relationship or their insecurities or whatever it may be, that's when they have a pain-free body.
Because the body keeps score. The body holds on to pain and stress and tension and grief. And we carry around all this stuff, and yet we really don't have to if just more people knew. Even to say I'm enough every day. And to say, another of my favorite things is I'm choosing this and I'm choosing to feel great. I'm choosing to work on my website all weekend. I'm choosing to go to the gym. I don't love it, but I love having a six-pack. I'm choosing to say no to Krispy Kreme donuts and yes to apples.
Love Krispy Kremes.
Do you?
I could eat 12 of them right now. Oh, they're so good. But I choose to eat healthy.
And if you say, I'm choosing to do this and choosing to feel great about it, your mind has a very clear image. The way you feel about everything is down to two things: the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. There's nothing else. So if you choose to run, going, I'm running, so I'm raising money for charity, so I'm going to complete this run. Even though my feet hurt, my knee hurts because I'm going to raise money. But you could run going, oh, I hate this. I could be at home watching Netflix, I haven't eaten, and now my knee hurts, and then you'll have to stop. So when you keep saying, I'm choosing it. So if you're an Olympic athlete, you would choose to get up at 4 a.m. and train. If you are a diabetic, you choose to put a needle in your arm. If you wear lenses, you choose to jab your finger in your eye. But you don't go, oh, I hate it. I can't accept it and I can't change it. And when you say I'm choosing to study, to work on, to go and talk to this girl I really like, or to put good food in my body, and I'm choosing to feel great about that too, there is no resistance. When you go, I want donuts and I can't have them, I've got to eat this freaking rabbit food, what your mind does is it increases the desire for donuts, because you said, I want donuts, but I can't have them. I want pizza, I'm eating kale.
I can't have these, but I choose to do this because
I can eat pizza every day. When I'm 95, I'm going to knock myself out with pizza. But right now, I actually want to look really good in my clothes, maybe out of them too. So I'll save the pizza when I'm 80, because that door is probably shut then anyway. Then you can have loads of pizza.
Every day.
But you have to reason with your mind and negotiate, and your mind will always do what it thinks you want. That's its job. And if you could only tell your mind what you want using relevant, up-to-the-minute words, you'll get exactly what you want.
What do you struggle with telling your mind? Is there anything that you...
It took me a long time to tell my mind not to eat sugar. I still look at it and go, it looks so nice.
That's me.
But I still look at candy. The other day I was really tired, and I went into a shop to get a coffee, and they had jars of jellies, and I thought I could eat all of those.
All of it.
But I'm choosing not to, and I just had the coffee. So working out, we're on a schedule, sometimes just finding the time to go to the gym or do yoga and making the time. Yeah, that's probably the only two, really eating healthy food all the time, even on a plane, even sometimes where there is no healthy food, then you've got to wait and choosing to make myself exercise when I don't want to. But other than that, nothing really, because I couldn't do what I do unless I was really good at dialoguing with my mind. Is my best friend. It's the best PA I've ever had, and it does what I want because I give it clear instructions.
What do you say yourself on a daily basis? Is there like a process in the morning, afternoon, and night, or what would it be like?
Actually, when I wake up, the first thing I would say is I love my life. I love my linen, I love my cup of tea. I always wake up going, I love my life. And then when I go, I love this tea, I love the coffee, I love the shower gel in my shower. Because I really believe that if you can make your mind get excited by little things, then big things every day is like Christmas. And I think when you wake up, you should go, oh, what have I got today? Oh, a world of stress. I've got this. So you should always wake up and go, I love my life. I'm alive in a free country. I've got all this stuff to make tea. And life is great. So I do that. The second thing I do is I tend to stay in bed and do all my emails, because then I feel like I'm not working. Because I'm in bed, propped up, drinking my tea, and I get all of that out of the way. Yes,
not
very
stressed.
relaxed.
It's more relaxed.
Not stressed. I try not to have to rush to go to bed, but sometimes I do. And I mean, I'm very lucky because I love what I do, and I do what I love. People say you work really hard. I go, I've never worked a day in my life. I don't know what that is. I don't have to go, my life is a weekend. People say, oh, the weekend. I go, what's a weekend?
I know.
I can take time off. I mean, I love my job because I get to make such a difference. So I don't really have much to moan about. Maybe communicating with my daughter is sometimes a challenge because I'm so positive that she occasionally wants me to be super negative.
Why is that?
Well, I guess because you have to be the opposite of your parents. So I do all these positive. She's an artist and she does lots of negative statements on her paintings, on her T-shirts, because that's the deal. You've got to be the opposite of your parents. But I understand that. But she's great. But really, I don't have much to complain about.
You have a positive conversation with yourself pretty much 24/7.
Yeah.
What about a nightly routine? Do you have thoughts that you say to yourself?
Well, you see, for me, I really believe that first it's what you do and then it's who you are. So first you're doing it and then it's who you are, and it's so who you are that it wouldn't occur to you to have to make yourself do it. See, I would never sit on the couch and go, my case is lost, I just know it, it's all going to go wrong. There's no cabs out there, this is a horrible flight. I now have a belief, and it really achieved me, that there's no such thing as being bored. If my flight is late, I mean, I just get on my laptop, on my phone. I mean, I have 24-hour entertainment, empty out my emails, look at something. The days of having to wait and being bored, even waiting in the car, my little phone is like everything, books, messages, videos. And so I love that. I don't really mind about missing stuff and being late anymore. In fact, when I was last landing here 2 weeks ago, I was hoping the premiere, because I was so into this movie. It's like, no,
hopefully it's delayed. Yeah.
It was delayed. When the pilot said we've got to go around for a film, I was like, oh, that's so great. Yes. That's exactly how long is left of this movie. But I think it's important for people to understand that it isn't what you do. It's a bit like people who say, I've done yoga every day and now it's just my soul. Like Meghan Markle said, that yoga is in my soul. I don't do yoga. Yoga is part of my life. It's like you don't say, I walk my dog. If you've had a dog for 20 years, you just get up, pick up the lead, and it's who you are, not what you do. And so for me, it really isn't what I do, because it's so a part of me. And I like it, and so I'm quite lucky that I'm pretty happy and positive. But I really do love my life, and that's a good thing.
Was there ever something in the last 10 years that questioned everything that you've done, or that questioned your ability to say, I love my life, you know?
Well, I did get very sick like a year ago, and I thought, wow, how could that happen? You know, I'm so happy and positive and eat well, so I was a bit surprised when I got sick. But then
How
I thought,
did you get through that?
The same thing, the thinking, the belief. I decided I'd focus on massive healing. I kept telling my body that it was a cancer-fighting machine. I was making all these NK killer cells. And I did actually go home the next day. I was on stage a week later, and my doctor was like, wow, you become the poster girl for just going on with your life. And now I look at one particular YouTube and think, that's so bizarre. I had like major surgery just a week before that, and you'd never know. But again, it's a belief. I decided I do wellness. I said to the hospital, I need to go home. I got into my own bed. I watched Ray Donovan. I thought, this is it. I'm doing wellness here. I'm not going to lie in that bed where they keep trying to give you pills. Right. And I didn't feel any pain at all because I just kept telling my body to heal itself. And then later I thought, maybe it's good I got that because I can help other people. And I go, look, life throws stuff at you, but you get to choose how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And even then, I noticed that I was very positive because I had actually got womb cancer. I thought, well, a stroke of luck to get womb cancer. I don't need a womb. It's done its job. I've had a great kid. I talked to my womb and said, thanks for giving me this great kid. But now I've got to get rid of you because I've got to stay here and raise this great kid. Wow. And I thought, that's good. I mean, imagine if you get brain cancer or bone cancer. I felt very lucky. It was a disposable organ. They'd done a great job. I didn't need it. And so I think once you become like that, it's just who you are. So I never had, oh my God, I'm going to die. Because I thought, no, I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. It's all perspective, yeah.
It is all perspective. I mean, I still, people would say to me, but I thought you were so healthy. How could you get that? As it turns out, I have that same gene that Angelina Jolie has. But then, of course, Bruce Lipton would tell you can turn off a gene. You can mentally remove that gene. So even with adversity, because it's quite good in a way, because people think, oh, you're like Pollyanna, just tripping along, having a wonderful life. That's not true. I've still had adversity. But your mind will always kick in when it's well trained and go, this is a blip. Just a blip, just carry on. And so you got to train your mind like you train a horse. I always say your mind's like a Ferrari. And if you've never driven a Ferrari, it's going to go all over the place. But if you have Ferrari driving lessons, you're going to run that Ferrari. The Ferrari should not be running you. If you get on a horse, you've never ridden it, it's going to go everywhere. But if you have some horse riding skills, you say go there, and it goes. So I see my mind like a horse, and I am the rider, but I'm going to tell my mind where to go, and it's going to do it.
You're fascinating. I love this. And you've got a book coming out right now called #IamEnough. Mark your mirror and change your life. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, that's been my life's work, mark your mirror and change your life. It was actually lipstick your mirror and change your life, because I used to teach people to write on their mirror, I'm enough. One of my graduates was saying that the removal man that was removing, I said, why have you got that on your mirror? And she told me, I need a session with you this week. And my plumber was saying, why have you got that on your mirror? And I said, well, everybody wants to change the world, but that's the big ask. I want to change people one soul at a time. And I'm enough changes people. People write to me and say, it's just 3 words, but oh my God, the difference it's made. And so I told my plumber, and he came back and said, I had this really nerdy, unhappy son. He's now still nerdy, but he's a happy nerd. Got a happy, nerdy girlfriend. He's created a happy, nerdy club. My wife, who is in the menopause, is so different because we've got it on the fridge, on the mirrors, and a lot of parents write to me and say, wow, I put that in my kids' bathroom and had them say it, and they've just suddenly become bulletproof against being bullied. And so I've always been in love with the I'm enough, because when you're a therapist, you're always working with what lies beneath these people's problems. It's always the same. I don't feel smart enough, rich enough, good enough. And when you say things like I'm a rock star, my mind goes, not really a rock star, because come on, you live in a shared apartment and you've got a car that's 11 years old. You shop in Target, that's not a rock star. Right. I'm a goddess, because you're not really a goddess, because you've got cellulite. But when you say I'm enough, its strength is its simplicity and its honesty, because you are enough. You're not your weight, your shape, your size, your bank account, your childhood.
Your race.
You're enough. And the thing is, when you say it, and really say it, speak it, and let it in, people pick up your enoughness and believe it. So within that book, you'll see that we get people to change their password so they contain I'm enough. Obviously with some letters and numbers and squiggles, we can't all have I'm enough. It'd be a hacker's dream come true. But you write it all over your mirrors. You put it on your fridge, you put it on your screen. You have your phone alerts go off twice a day. And when you type it out in your passwords, when you write it, read it, say it, think it, it goes in and does the most incredible work, because when you feel enough, you can talk to people. You don't risk rejection because you can't be rejected. You take risks. People say, but if I'm enough, don't just lie on the sofa and eat potato chips. No. When you know you're enough, you think, I'm enough. I'm going to build this company, get a raise, get a promotion, release my book. I'm going to invent this thing I've had in my head for years. I'm going to ask that girl or guy out. I'm going to stand up to my kid's teacher who I think is terrifying me because they're not terrifying. So I'm enough just opens so many doors and makes you like yourself. Because if you don't like yourself, nothing counts. Nothing you have is enough, and that's what's behind so many people. We think of everything who become suicidal.
Right.
But I'm enough. Its strength is its simplicity, but also its absolute truthfulness, because everyone's enough. And the minute you know it, the whole world knows it, and they treat you differently. You see, we think, I'll buy a Porsche, and then I'm going to say, look, I'm enough, I've got a Porsche.
Still not.
I'll get an Armani jacket, or I'll get breast implants or lip implants, and then I'm saying I'm enough. But we see lots of people who've got all of that and are desperately, desperately unhappy, because everything you want is because it might make you feel enough. When you can feel enough without the stuff, now you've won. And then you'll get the stuff anyway. But you only get the stuff because you want it, not because you need it to feel enough. Yeah. So if someone said to me, I keep buying all these Jo Malone candles to feel enough, I'm like, but you've got 22. And if they've worked, why would you need 26? You've got 18 pairs of shoes to feel enough. Do you think 19 is going to make any difference? Stuff can't make you feel enough. It's out there. Feeling enough is in here. And when you know you're enough, you can still love a pair of shoes. Believe me, I love a nice pair of shoes. But I never buy them to feel enough, because I'm enough without them.
Powerful.
It's very powerful.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because it's true.
And so they can get the book, #I'mEnough. You can go to your website and get it there, right?
Yeah.
Or Amazon. What's your website?
You can go to marisapeer.com. We have lots of free stuff there. We have self-esteem downloads and money downloads and relationship. We give them all away. And you can buy I'm Enough, the book. There's also a program. You can also get it on Amazon, I'm Enough. And then you can start to hashtag and create the movement. Send me from all over the world what it is in your country. We get people sending us pictures of their kids doing paintings of I'm Enough and writing it somewhere, planting flowers in their garden that come up and spell out I'm Enough. So nice.
Amazing. And it sounds like you don't work with many clients today, but how could people work with you or one of your students?
Yeah, I work with clients if it's a very unusual or particularly deserving case, but actually I don't need to see clients anymore, because I used to really know I had a gift for what I do. But the way I teach, my method, is something that you can replicate, and we have amazing therapists all over the world, many in Los Angeles who are so good. I mean, getting phenomenal results with people with impetigo and vitiligo and ringing in the ears, tinnitus, all kinds of stuff, depression, anxiety, insomnia. So if you want to have some amazing RTT therapy, and it is amazing, again, just go to marisapeer.com, or you can go to rapidtransformationaltherapy.com, and you can find someone who will change your life in 90 minutes.
It's a 90-minute session.
Might be 3 sessions.
Might
If
be
you
a few
had,
sessions, but
if
it's
you had
not a year's.
bipolar, oh no.
Yeah.
If you had bipolar or bulimia, 3 sessions. If you have insomnia or nail biting or anxiety, 1 session.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's so powerful and it's permanent. And you get your own audio recording to wire in the changes, and it is a revolutionary therapy, but I'm so proud of it. But I learned it from my clients, you know. I learned what worked with real clients in real time that created stunning turnaround. I thought, oh, this works, I'll teach that to everyone else, because it's always your clients that teach you everything.
Right, you had to learn, and some things worked, some things didn't, and you kept growing.
They would always say, oh my God, when you got me to praise myself, or when you got me to not let it increase, and when you got me to go back to my boyfriend and go, that hurt my feelings. Wow. Somebody said to me, you know, that I'm enough. Those words got me to walk out of my marriage, walk into a building, ask for a job, got the job, walk back to my apartment, ask the super if he'd rent me something else, and took my kids away from a violent man, and it was just those words that got it all started. And so people write to me and tell me that, and it's really nice.
Amazing. This is a question I ask everyone at the end. It's called the 3 truths. So I want you to imagine you get to pick the day that it's your last day on earth. It could be as far away as you want it to be, and you've achieved everything you want, or you've created everything you want. All the books, the talks, hundreds of thousands of therapists have taken your program, whatever you want, you've created it. But for whatever reason, you've got to take all of your work with you on this last day.
Right.
Celebration, you've got to take it with you. And all you get to do is write down on a piece of paper the 3 things you know to be true about all of your experiences. These 3 lessons that then you would share with the world, since there's nothing else that they have access to.
Yeah.
What would you say are your 3 truths?
I think that would be, you're always enough and never forget it. Because when you know it, the whole world knows it, and the world will believe what you believe about you. I'd also say you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs make you, and then you go out into the world and it starts to mirror whatever you believe. So make your beliefs amazing. Make your beliefs good. Like if you believe that dogs bite you, you make that belief, and then you act badly around dogs, and then dogs pick up your anxiety and they do bite you because you've made them nervous. If you believe dogs are wonderful and loyal and man's, you go, oh, I love dogs. The dog will love you, because our beliefs, our thoughts become feelings, and they resonate out from us and back to us, events that always match up our thoughts and beliefs. And when you know that, all you have to do is change your thoughts and beliefs and make them positive. It's like there's not enough money. There's enough money for everyone. There's more than enough. But your belief that, well, if I have more, you get less, and spiritual shouldn't ask for money, and it's arrogant, and I'm not worth it. If you make that belief, that's your blueprint. Why don't you make a belief that if I have more money, other people get to benefit too? And there's more than enough for everyone. Because there really is.
Yeah. Powerful.
Yeah.
Wow.
And true.
And true, if you believe it to be true.
Yeah. You are what you believe. It says that in the Bible, man is what he believes. But it doesn't say, well, so go ahead and make great beliefs then. And women too.
That should be the second thing.
That should be the second thing. So that's what I would say if I had one day left. You are what you believe, and you get to choose whatever you believe. I know what I'd say. You can choose whatever you wish, negative, positive. You get to choose. What you can't choose is what you do to your body and your health when you're negative. You can't choose that. I could say I'm just a negative person, but over here is a positive person. We all can choose to do that. But you can never choose how you ruin your health, defeat your immune system, paralyze your autoimmune system, affect your nervous system. What goes on in your body when you're negative is horrific, because the body can't choose. It has to react to negative. You make cortisol, that's a stress hormone. That shuts down fertility. It lays down fat. So all the stuff you're doing when you're negative, giving yourself heart attacks and strokes and high blood pressure, all because you're choosing to be negative, when if you come over to the positive world, which is so much better, you have better health. You live longer. You look 20 years younger. That's a good thing too, because all the stress leaves your face.
That's it.
You don't have to take laxatives and all those antacids and stuff that people take because of their thinking.
This is amazing. I know my audience is going to love this. So I want to acknowledge you, Marisa, for teaching in such a way that is simple.
If you enjoyed that video, check out the next one right here. You can also click the link below right here for your free gift. We've kind of forgotten how to hold ourselves. So I'm going to show you how to have the body language of someone who appears to be incredibly confident